Shocking news and what happened in Africa this week 15. Liberian voters have shown the red card to the former football legend and Liberia's president, George Weah, who lost the presidential election in a tight runoff, and without requesting for a VAR check, President Weah conceded defeat during a speech on a national radio late Friday after the final whistle. He called for unity and healing from the division caused by the campaign, while pledging to continue working for the people of Liberia until 2024. This is fair play, and this will mark the second peaceful transition of power in 2 decades in Liberia. You see, when the legend became president, there were high expectations on his shoulders. Fans hoped he would excel in this position just as he did when he was still on the pitch. They expected him to use the same magical touch that made him the first non-European to win the prestigious Ballon d'Or award and to become the first African to win the FIFA World Player of the Year. However, critics tackled his government by accusing it of corruption and him of failing to fulfill his promise of improving the lives of Liberians. Now, as African spectators, we can say without going into too much details that the legend was benched after scoring an own goal during his presidency. This is Tidiane Thiam, a top banker and former CEO of Credit Suisse. Is now back in Côte d'Ivoire after almost 25 years abroad. But he did not waste any time. As soon as he arrived in the country, he submitted his candidacy to lead one of Côte d'Ivoire's main opposition parties. And if he wins that position, it will automatically give him the ticket to run for the 2025 presidential election. Now, that's how you announce your comeback to the nation, like a prodigal son 2.0 on steroid. You see, unlike President George Weah, Mr. Thiam is no stranger to politics. He served as a minister in Côte d'Ivoire under the former president Henri Konan Bédié, who was ousted in 1999 in a coup. I mean, one can argue that the ousting of President Bédié was a blessing in disguise for Mr. Thiam, because following that event, he developed a passion for switching countries and careers. He climbed the corporate ladder, working for McKinsey, Aviva, Prudential, and Credit Suisse in 2015. However, he later resigned from the Swiss bank 5 years later over spying scandal, and denied any involvement in the espionage drama. I mean, I like that the man has acquired the skills of denying spying accusations, because it's a transferable skill he will need when he becomes the next president of Côte d'Ivoire. Now listen, will Mr. Thiam be the right person for the job? I don't know. However, I hope he doesn't bring Western solutions to African problems. And this is where I feel many leaders fail. They fail to understand the culture and the realities of the people they are ruling. I mean, for example, a new underground route that connects different parts of London in England will make a lot of sense. But an underground system in any African country today won't make any sense to me, considering our current realities, challenges, and priorities. However, train systems that connect different parts of our cities, countries, or even continents will make a lot more sense. Let's do things that work for us and that benefit us, and not because we've seen them work abroad and we like them. Now, according to this article, every day thousands of children in South Africa's most remote rural areas walk for hours to get to school. They have to deal with dusty roads and dangerous paths, running the risk of being assaulted, robbed, and let's not forget to mention the obvious, exhaustion. These youth are missing out on learning, playing, and socializing, and this is their daily struggle 30 years after apartheid ended. Now, according to the article, the lack of funded school transportation in some parts of the country is due to the long waiting list. I mean, that's a problem and a threat to the children's safety and education. Their attendance and performance suffer. They end up being left behind by a system that is dogged by inequality and underperformance, a system that depends on where they are born, how wealthy they are, and especially the color of their skin. A system that has roots in the legacy of apartheid, but that is not tackled by the government. The lack of transport reflects the socioeconomic realities and inequalities of South Africa, and those who cannot afford to live in cities will keep on lacking basic services. But what struck me while reading this article are the similarities I see with other African countries, at least the countries I lived in on the continent. We inherited the colonial education system, and not much was done or is being done to completely move away from it and adapt our education system to our realities. The family you are born in and how much wealth your family acquired will define your trajectory in life. However, thanks to the rise of social media, knowledge and opportunities are no longer hidden. People are getting more information from social media than they've ever had in school, which begs the question, at what point will our respective ministers of education will get with the program and adapt our education system to our African realities? I mean, why should children walk for miles for school? Why not come up with innovative and interactive ways of teaching? You cannot tell me it's impossible when you have people out there who are learning mathematics, the stock market, to cook, to fix faulty appliances in their home and more, just from watching YouTube videos.
We, ni nini?